Good afternoon. It's Lindsay. It's March 13th, 2025. Is it 2024 2025? I still don't know. I guess it's 2025. I'm still getting that mixed up. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do a video right now about, just want to talk about, like, how I want to talk about narcissists using a harem garage, okay? And what that means, basically, when I say harem, that means that they what they'll do is they will recycle supply, right? They keep in notice that when you're involved or intertwined or however you want to say, I guess you could say involved with a person who is narcissistic, you're gonna find that what they do, you'll find on into the relationship that they're in contact with their exes, that they continuously maintain contact with people from their past, so like ex-girlfriends, and I'm talking about men here. They'll stay in contact with their exes, whether it be their ex-wife, their ex-girlfriend, whatever. And that is because whenever, for a narcissistic individual, they don't like, they still feel that even though they're not, even though that relationship ended, they still have to feel like they have control over you. Like they still have to feel that they have that they can maintain some kind of control over your life. and that means for them to still be able to contact you when they want at their leisure, or their, I guess a word would be, whenever they want. I can't think of the right word I'm trying to say, but they take advantage of the fact that they feel that they could still come around your life when they want, hoover you when they want to, just pop in unexpected, uninvited, to say things like, oh, I'm checking up on you, I just want to see how you're doing, or I haven't talked to you in a while, it's been a while. And it's like, what you want to know why they do that? Why do they come into your life, or still seem to make these appearances in your life whenever that relationship is over? They do that, like I said, because they still feel that they have some kind of control over you, or that they can maintain control over your life. And it's a very bizarre type feeling when you've gone through this, or it doesn't really make sense, because you're always thinking, it forces you to almost like, doubt your reality, because what they're doing is gaslighting you. It's a form of manipulation and gaslighting, because they feel that you're an object who they can control when they want, at their advantage, at their on their clock, on their on their watch, I guess you could say, because it's always about them, about you. They demand your attention, they're demanding, they're controlling, they're manipulative, and this is what they do to try to lure you back into some kind of a false reality that they have, or false relationship, fake relationship. Because keep in mind that it's not, that it's all fake. It's a facade. They're not who they say they are, okay? They will be around you completely putting on one front mask, and they're completely different around other people. And I don't know, depending on how they are in their workplace, whatever kinds of people they are around in the workplace, whatever kind of job they have, but they're completely different around you than they are in public or around other people. And it's just like a complete, like, why do they do that? Why can't they just stay the same person? Well, that's because narcissistic people are so uncomfortable with who they really are that they have to put on a mask. They have to put on a fake front, a show for other people, because they don't have any genuine, they don't know how to just be themselves. If they are being themselves, and then their cover is blown, because then you'll discover that they're not who they say they are. And that's what's so pathetic and upsetting and confusing about them, is because they just seem to lack authenticity. They seem to lack the ability to just be in the moment. It's got to be here. It's got to be now. They're very impulsive. Everything's got to be right then and there. And so what happens in that way, in that situation, is that they make impulsive decisions that are usually very quick decisions that are not good decisions. And they can't help that because they don't have the ability to control their emotions. And what they'll do is whenever they're around somebody such as yourself, who may be an empath type person, who's genuine, open, honest, well, they'll get you so angry, they'll get you so on the edge by their manipulations and their controlling and their backhanded compliments, their backstabbing, their lies, all the things that they do, their coercive abuse, insults about your appearance, about what you eat, anything and everything. Okay, so it gets to the point where you're so fucking tired, pardon my French, pardon my language, you're so tired of listening to them, of being their doormat, that you explode. You get so angry with them, you shout, you react in a way that makes you the victim. And I don't like to say victim, but you being their victim, their prey, I guess is more like it. You get so angry and react in a way that makes you look crazy and makes you look completely unstable, completely crazy, and perhaps even delusional. And it makes you look like you're the one who has no self-control. When it's the opposite. It's the opposite, because you are simply reacting to their demands, to their controlling, abusive ways, and their manipulations. And so, yes, it's like they're projecting a lot of their anger and insecurities onto you. And people are going to react. It's natural to react to that. Why wouldn't you react to somebody who's abusing you and stepping all over your boundaries, or violating your boundaries, your privacy, intruding on your life, and just basically encroaching upon your privacy? They lack boundaries. They don't respect your boundaries. They come and go in your life whenever they want, at their convenience. That's the word I was looking for earlier. They come and go at their convenience. It's completely their convenience, and it might be a big inconvenience to you, but they don't care. They don't take into consideration that you have a life, that you have things you have to do to care for yourself, such as cleaning, cooking, taking a bath, maybe going to the gym, paying bills, doing things that don't revolve around catering to their unsatiable desire for attention. Because when they don't get your attention that they demand, they act out like little children. They start acting out like 5-year-olds. You feel like you're basically having to babysit somebody who's in this stuck in some kind of arrested development childhood phase. And you feel so overwhelmed, so drained of energy, that you just lose it. You get mad, you scream, you say, "Get the fuck out of here, leave me alone, don't bother me, go away, get out of here." And you get angry because, for example, they'll show up, you just pull up, you just got home from running some errands, okay? And you're tired, you want to rest, you need to unload your groceries. And who shows up right down? The narcissist, pulling up in your driveway right as you're coming into the door. Without unannounced, right? They just show up expecting that you're going to just like drop everything. "Oh, hi, what's up? Oh, it's so good to see you, No, they forget the fact that they never want to take into it. They never want to take accountability for what they've done to you, right? That be it cheating on you, lying to you, ghosting you, deceiving you, exploiting you. They're not going to take into accountability all the things that they do to you. They just expect you to cater to them when they need you, whenever you're at their convenience, and without even taking into account that what happened a week ago or 2 days ago, right? That doesn't make any difference. They just act like that never happened. Let's just forget that all that happened and play like it never happened, right? No, that's what they do. And you need to remember that this is a form of manipulative gaslighting, and it's like they're trying to put a spell on you. They put some kind of demonic spell on people so that they can try to control you. And it is like you're under some kind of a spell, because I believe that these people, I wouldn't doubt that some of them really do practice that kind of stuff, some kind of sorcery or spell type crap where they, I don't know, but it's really weird the way they seem to like think that they have you under control, like they have a remote control over your life. As silly and cliche as that sounds, but it's akin to being somebody's pet or slave. You feel like you're just somebody's doormat after a while. And I can give you more example after example of what they do to violate your boundaries, to gaslight you, to re-hoover, reevaluate you, or love bomb and all this shit. They go from all the devaluation to all of a sudden you're the best thing since sliced bread. And it's weird. It's bizarre behavior, because normal people don't get all excited about seeing somebody. These narcissistic people overreact. Everything is an exaggeration. They can't just, like when they're around you at least, they act like a child. They behave like a child. At least the one I was involved with, but it behaves like a child that needs to be put on a leash, like a dog. Like you need to train a dog. It's funny, but it's not. It is a bit funny, but at the same time, it's really not, because this is how they really are. You're seeing their true colors for who they really are, yet one minute they're like that, and the next minute out in public they're completely different. It doesn't make any sense, because I'm the same way here in my house as I am out in public. I mean, I get angry, I express myself maybe on my YouTube videos, but at the end of the day, I'm still the same person for the most part. With a few exceptions. But narcissists are stuck in a state of not being able to evolve, and usually, unless they've had some kind of an enlightenment or some kind of an awakening, they are stuck in a pattern of repetitive nonsense. They refuse to introspect. They don't like to look in the mirror and introspect, because that's gonna expose their flaws. And a narcissist is perfect. They don't have any flaws. How dare you call them out for something that might be a flaw, because they're perfect, remember? And yeah, they think, you're gonna find that most of them are so enmeshed with their appearance and their public persona. It's all about how the public perceives them. Like if they're a salesman or work in sales, then you better believe that they're putting on a fucking front, an act, to gain people's approval, to sell something. It's all an act. It's fake. It's pretentious. It's superficial. It's even their voice changes, their personality changes. They're not at all, you may as well be talking to a robot a lot of the times. But around you, they're going to behave differently. They're acting like a fucking child, out of control, who somebody took the candy away or the cookie jar away from. That's how they behave. They act immature, they act entitled, they act demanding, they act manipulative and abusive. And yeah, they do abuse. They are mean. They're inconsiderate. And you try to talk to them, you try to talk sense into them, you try to get them to calm down, you try to say, well, let's watch a documentary, let's listen to some. No, it's got to be touchy-feely. They're hyperactive, they're impulsive, they cannot control their emotions. they don't respect your boundaries. And if this is something that you're going through or you've experienced with these kinds of people, then it's not going to change. It's not going to change because you're basically dealing with an arrested development adult stuck in childhood phase. And like I said, unless they have some kind of a major enlightenment, nothing's going to change with them. They don't want to see your point of view. They only see things the way they want to see things. Even if it's not correct, they have to see it their way. They don't want to listen to you. They want to over-dominate. They'll over-dominate conversations. You'll be talking about something. Maybe you're talking about yourself or something about that. Maybe they'll even ask you a question about your past or something, and you start to talk about it. And then they interrupt and start talking about, well, so-and-so did this, or my aunt. They'll start changing the subject, and they'll have to bring into a third party to gaslight or to triangulate you with somebody. So it completely is all about them. If it's about you, they don't want to hear about it. But if it's about something that has to do with them, then yes. But you're not allowed to talk about yourself. You're not allowed to have any problems or anything. You're supposed to be perfect. And then the minute you do express your anger or express problems that you're having, they get angry and they don't want to hear about it. Or they act like they just don't fucking care. They don't give a shit about it because it doesn't have to do with them. If it's not focused on them, then they don't care because you're taking away the focus and putting it on yourself as opposed to them. And this is a way that you're going to notice that the conversations are one-sided. It's never it's like a transaction. They don't listen and respond to conversations properly. It's all them dominating the conversation and then changing the subject and manipulating your words and word salad. They don't let you speak without interrupting you and changing the subject to what they want to talk about. Or that's one thing that that's another example that they do, something they do. Something else they'll do is, like I said about their harem garage, how they keep in contact with all their exes. Why? Because they don't ever get over their exes and they still need to feel that power of control over people, even if it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 4 years ago. They still need to feel that they're in control of the ex-lover or spouse or girlfriend, whatever. They have to be in control of people still after years. And they want to just act like, I'm just coming over to check on you and I was worried about you and seeing how you're doing. They don't give a shit about what you're doing or how you're doing. It's about them feeling that they've lost control over you, and therefore the power dynamic has shifted out of their reach, and so they cannot handle that. The one thing, if there's anything that a narcissist can't stand, and this is a one thing, and I reiterate this, and I've talked about it ad nauseum, is losing control over their victim. They have to feel in control and power over everybody. If they feel that they've lost control over you, then that's when the shit hits the fan, because that's when it's game over for them, because they can't handle not having control and authority and power over somebody. With the narcissist, it might not be what you think. You might think that, it's all about they're a somatic narcissist because it's all about getting sex and the intimacy and, them touching you and they wanted to be intimate or in the bed. But actually, that's not what it's really all about. It's all about them wanting to control you and having power over you in any kind of circumstance or situation, whether it be in the bedroom, whether it be in the kitchen, whether it be in the public, at the grocery store, or at the park, or out to eat at a restaurant. It's about them feeling the need to dominate the conversations, putting the spotlight on them and taking it away from you because they have to be the center of attention, remember. They don't want you to navigate the conversation away from them. It's got to be about them, about their needs, and when their needs are not met, they act out and behave like children. Okay, they do. They behave like little children who don't get their way. And another thing is pretty funny is notice that a lot of these narcissistic men, they're little mama's boys, right? Their mommy still takes care of them. Mommy makes a lunch for them. Mommy cooks breakfast and dinner for them. And they live at home with mommy. Still, at age 50 or 45 or whatever. Hey, okay, it's one thing to be close to your mom or parents and talk to them on the phone and go visit them a few times a week or every weekend. I get it. But when you're living with them and mommy cooks and cleans and does your laundry and makes your lunch for you and basically does anything and everything for you like a little spoiled child, then you have some attachment issues with your mom. You've got to detach yourself from mom so that you can become a real man, because until you are able to detach yourself from mom, how the fuck are you going to be able to be in any kind of real relationship with a woman unless it's your mom? And I'm not trying to be mean here, but it's a fact that a lot of these people are extremely close to their mother, that it's like borderline incestuous relationships. It might be emotional incest, it might even be some other kind of incest, but it's definitely a form of incest in these situations with these narcissistic men, because they are clingy, they're needy, and yeah, they're mama's boys, a lot of them. But even the mother, it's one way or another, it's toxic. It's not normal. It's not healthy to do that at that age. It's just not. These relationships are just basically problematic, because if somebody in their family doesn't like you, for example, one of their siblings or their aunt or their mother or their father or stepfather or grandparent, or somebody doesn't like you, then they're all gonna chit chat and gossip about you, and to the point that they're gonna drive you away from that relationship because somebody doesn't like you. And of course, he's got to be the mama's boy pleaser, people pleaser. And therefore, well, mom doesn't like you, sister doesn't like you, and so therefore I can't like you, and they'll kick you out, and they'll devaluate you, they'll discard you, throw you away, come back to hoover you, and fucking do the whole cycle over again. But this is what they do. They just recycle old supply, go back to their past, and a lot of the times you're going to notice that you are being used as a role. If you're involved with one of these people, and you're actually married to one of them, what a nightmare that would be. Or you're really like in a real serious relationship with them. Maybe you're in a domestic living arrangement with a narcissistic person, man. In my case, I'm talking about men. Or in this video, at least, I'm talking about men. They cannot. They're all gonna turn against you like a clan of people all against you. Who some of these people you've never met, but they know a thing or two about you, but you've never met them in person. You've never even seen them. Maybe you've seen a photo of them on social media or something, but other than that, you don't know them at all. But they certainly know you, and they certainly are gonna talk crap about you. Because gossip. What do people like to do when they're in public? Or gossip, smear campaign, gossip, lie, manipulate. Yeah. And so you'll find that you're being used by their family as like the fucking therapist, scapegoat, black sheep of their family fucked up shit that you're fucking supposed to fix for their shit. They assign a role for you that you didn't even sign up for a lot of the times. And you're like, how the hell did I get in this predicament where I'm basically being used as a therapist for a bunch of dysfunctional people? and when I say dysfunctional, some of these people, when I mean that by, you might find out there's incest in the family, you might find out that there's children that are unaccounted for, or children with a cousin that they don't talk about, that's a hush-hush secret, or incestuous relationships with a sister, or abuse, physical abuse, or all kinds of weird stuff can go on in these families with these kinds of individuals, because I've had experience with these in the past, enough to know what to validate myself. So it can get really weird and creepy, and you're just like, I just need to get out of here. And it almost makes you feel like, have you been adopted? It's like they make you feel like you're an extension of them, but you're not really accepted, but you're still there to kind of, regulate their emotions. You've been assigned to regulate a fucked up situation where they're needing a therapist because maybe there's a lot of alcoholism in the family, drug abuse, sexual violence, whatever, problems, disease. Hey, let me project it onto this person. Hey, why not? Let this person be the scapegoat for the fucked up dynamics of this family, because there's so many of them, right? And they're not going to go see a psychiatrist or psychotherapist. It's against the norm. It's against the culture. So, hey, so-and-so's been seeing some girl, his friend, who he goes to visit, and she's a friend who he cares about. So let's kind of try to use that person to regulate our fucked up dynamics here for a while, because this person can see through the bullshit, unlike anybody else that he's brought around, including a lot of his exes who he still fucking hoovers and keeps in the harem garage for convenience. Yeah, you're going to start seeing some really screwed up shit with these people, to the point that you feel, like drained. You feel possessed, like you've been possessed by demons. You feel sick. Physically sick. You're going to start getting sick. You might get sick. You might feel like somebody put a fucking spell on you. You might feel like you're going to die from one day to the next because you feel suffocated, taken advantage of, like the unpaid helper kind of role type thing. And look, I'm a smart person. I might not have a PhD, but I came fucking close to getting a master's degree, which doesn't even mean anything anyway, really. But I'm not dumb. I'm educated enough to know, and plus from my own experience and street smarts and whatnot, and just being able to research and introspect in my intuition and whatnot, and natural abilities to learn on a different kind of level, I can see things quite easily and see things that other people don't in certain situations. Because I pay close attention to detail. I listen very carefully to conversations. I watch their body language, and I don't forget a face or a name, because I have a photographic memory. And they'll put you to the test. These narcissistic people, demons I like to call them, because they are very demonic. They will put you to so many psychological mindfuckery tests that you literally feel like you're gaslighting yourself, when in fact they're the ones pulling all the strings, doing all the abuse, the manipulations, and you start to fucking feel like you're gaslighting yourself when they're the ones doing it. It's called crazy making. And if they know that you have a vulnerability, some kind of a disability or vulnerability or whatever, oh, guess what? They're gonna really, really abuse you and take advantage of that, because they feel entitled and they feel that they have the right to do that to you, even if you're not together anymore. And it's like, how the fuck dare you come back into my life knowing good and well that you've cheated, you've lied, you've been in contact with your exes the whole time, and you still think that you can come around and play like you give a shit about me and tell me what to do? Like I'm what's the word? Here we go. Secondhand item that you bought at the thrift shop. Don't get me wrong. I like thrift shops and I like antiques and things, but I'm not a secondhand item. I'm not your doormat. and I'm not your scapegoat, and I'm not your therapist, and I'm not your fucking mediator for your fucked up shit with the girl you fucking never got over from several years ago who probably discarded you or you discarded or whatever, because whatever. But I'm not here to fix that shit. You fix it. I'm done. I can't do anymore for certain. You can't. There's only so much energy that you have in one day. And when you give it away to somebody who doesn't appreciate you or respect you and violates your boundaries, has no regard for your well-being, it's all talk when they say they do, and they don't really give a fuck about you, they don't help you in any kind of way, what are you doing? Why? Well, ask yourself, why are you wasting your valuable, precious time and energy with these energy vampires? Oh, I know it's a rhetorical question because I'm asking myself, why do I do that? Why do I allow it? And really, I don't know. The truth is that they get you so unraveled in all their fucking drama and basic bullshit lies that you're just like, what the fuck am I dealing with? Are you a fucking actor wannabe? Or who are you? And when you have your ideas about somebody and you don't doubt your reality. Don't let them gaslight you into not believing what you see. Because what they'll do is you say you feel like they're cheating on you and you have a high suspicion, even though you don't have concrete proof of it, but you know your intuition is kicked in and telling you that they've done this and they've done that and they're doing you wrong and doing you dirty. You better trust, I suggest that you do trust your own gut feeling and instinct, because probably about 9 out of 10 times you're right that they've been doing that shit behind your back to fucking fuck with you and lead you on and mislead you and take advantage of you. Coming back to you whenever things go wrong with whoever the fuck it is they're fucking screwing around with, or grooming. Because that's what they do, is they groom their victims. They groom you only to drag you down. They'll groom you and put you up on the pedestal only to knock you down straight to the purgatory. I mean, they'll lift you up. You can lift yourself up too. I don't need them to lift me up. I already have the ability to do that myself. But they will try to make you feel like, oh, they're so important and they're so valuable to you, and how could you can't live without them, and oh, look at all the wonderful things they do for you, when in fact it's the other way around. They're the ones who are codependent on you. They're the ones who are in need of your energy and your presence. You were doing fine without them before they ever came around, right? Yeah, think about what your life was like before the narcissists intruded their way into your life. What were you doing then? How were you? How was your health? What were your habits? What was your emotional well-being? Was it better? Was it worse? Did they come around and fuck it up and try to triangulate you with one person after the next and get you jealous and reactive abuse and all that shit that they fucking do? Hoovering, discarding, triangulating, discard, reevaluation, smear campaign, gaslighting, all these terms and terminology in the narcissistic handbook that most of us who are educated about this know about. You don't fucking fool me for a minute, because I can rip that fucking mask off and you're gonna let the world see the real you, okay? Because I know who these people are. They don't fool me. Their little act, dog and pony show doesn't fucking cut it with me. So that's all I have to talk about today.